5. Hello, everybody. Hello, my dear puppies, to everyone who is tailgating in the beginning. Welcome back to the Isle of Series. Tonight is going to be something a little bit different.
Way different.
Tonight is going to be something a little bit more dramatic.
Very dramatic.
Tonight, not only is the show running for over an hour long, but we have 5 guests tonight. Everybody, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to welcome on John from John's Comics with Kids. If the thing, here comes.
Maybe.
No, John. Okay, kids. Javi from Conquistadors. Sam from Sam's Tangled Web. Caroline from Miss Lady Fantastic. And Matt, the boy who had 7. Welcome all! Woo!
Yeah.
What's up?
Woo! Tonight is Isle of the Reunion. Or Reunion, Reunion of the Dark. I don't remember what we called it. Everybody
awesome.
comes back. The first 5 come back. Yes, Javi's wearing the shirt. Yes, thank you, Javi. All right. Welcome.
Wait, Javi got a shirt?
Javi's got a shirt.
Where's your hat, Matt?
Yeah, where's your hat, Matt?
I know you got it, bro.
There it is.
There it is.
Okay, Okay, I
Yeah.
know some of you have gotten like tie-dye t-shirts, some of you
You
got the
all
Isle
have a
t-shirts.
bit of us.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
all
Some
have
of you
a
got
bit of
something
us.
laying around.
And I just want to say, like normally the way this works is I'm creepily in the background and I'm answering everybody. So all of you in the chat, I love you, but I can't answer you because that would be like super awkward with me like, hey, Reno, excuse me while I answer them in the chat. So I will be posting your chat
Whoa.
there, but
But
you
we
know.
can't answer unless it's verbal. Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So, here's how tonight's show is going to go. We're going to do a bit of a recap, and we're going to go around in order of shows to give all of you 5 minutes, and everybody feel free to tease the crap out of everybody else. Okay. So, we're going to go around in order of shows. And we're going to talk about, you guys are going to recap a little bit of what your show on the channel was. If there's something you guys never got to say or show during your 30 minutes, now's the time to throw in that one last item. So, and then after everybody's gotten their 5-minute segments, I've got 3 little sub conversations for all of us to nerd out about.
Cool.
So, all righty. So, John, I'm throwing you into the hot seat. You were the first guest. You start off first, man. What was your show about? Not gonna repeat.
Yeah, mine was about dreams and sort of aspirations in life, and I'm not gonna talk about any of that. I'm not even talking about my channel. I'm gonna completely derail this whole thing. I want to talk about movies, and I want to talk about practical jokes, mostly because those are the 2 ways I made connections to Sharon and Rena, and whether it was a love for Die Hard and Lethal Weapon as great holiday cheer, or
Yeah.
whether it was a wonderful practical joke involving Indiana Jones and how he's better in as Harrison Ford than Brendan Fraser in The Mummy.
That's true.
And Rena helped me to play a practical joke on her mom, and it sort of sealed the
fact.
and I basically found out from Sharon that right after we had our little dispute, a videotape of Indiana Jones happened to pop up, and she thought, "Oh, isn't that funny?" And then I had Rena subtly move it around the house for about 3 weeks to slowly play with Sharon's mind a little bit, and then I blew
And
it.
I am incredibly unobservant, and I didn't even notice it half the time.
And I made the
bad.
mistake. Yeah, I made the mistake of sending a message to Rena and saying, "Oh, this is hilarious," and then she and Mom heard either Rena laughing or saw the message and gave the joke away. But it was hilarious. I'm a big fan of practical jokes.
That's awesome.
It was pretty funny because I just kind of kept like placing it in random places, and she did put it away a couple of times. She's not even thinking about it.
I'm that oblivious. I was like, why is this here? Let me put it away.
Goes out, pulls it back out again.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah,
So funny.
I'm just that retarded.
Oh,
my gosh.
Unsuspecting is what I would say. Unsuspecting,
Yeah.
right?
She would have never thought that you and me would have concocted
And
something
she
like
was
that.
brilliant. Oh my God, she was brilliant. She never said words. She never smirked. She would sneak it into all these different, on top of my shoes, for God's sake.
And
I didn't even, I was just like, oh, that must have fallen. Ha ha. Yeah.
what?
Such a great accomplice. I will say my coworkers would have seen that coming because I'm pretty notorious at my school.
Up to and including tonight. I am so paranoid. I actually messaged John because the two of them were talking, and I'm like, "You're totally talking about Indiana Jones, aren't you?" I refuse to be punked again.
I should have worn my fedora.
Now I'm just so paranoid. I'm like, wait, who are you talking to? You talking to John? Why are you talking to him? What's going on?
I will say I had a coworker that I always would make. I still have a couple of minutes on my 5 left. So
no, keep going.
I had a coworker who was she's been a teacher a lot longer than I, and when I joined her group, she was with a bunch of very stoic, straight-laced ladies who just came to work, did their job, and went home. And I showed up like a hurricane, and I was like, "No, this is not how we roll." And I started playing jokes on her. She drove an old Vanagon, and she never locked it. And so I started doing things with her car. I became friends with her husband, and I borrowed the spare key and moved it one day. I parked it somewhere else. I had my students fill it with their classroom chairs one day so that like you couldn't get in. It was just full of chairs. It was like packed in. And my favorite was one day we were on a trip to another one of our campuses, and she had to leave early, and she clipped the mirror on the side of the school bus and broke it. And then she was late for her appointment, so she just left.
Oh, man.
I don't know if you know the law, but the law is if anything is damaged on the school bus, you can't drive it. So that meant my class was stuck at our other site, and we couldn't get back to our classroom. So we were like making up activities to do to fill the day, and I made a wanted poster for her. It looked like something you'd see at the post office. It had her face and her car, and it described her crime as far as a hit and run on a school bus, and it had it listed all of her other acts. And we
went all out, yeah.
We hung it in her classroom.
That is awful.
And then I sent it to everyone at our school. So everybody had like an APB on, if you see this crazy old lady, she's hit a car and she's run off. And it was very enjoyable.
Oh my god!
I got off so
John.
easy. I got off so easy. Oh my
God.
So it's in my nature, I guess. I grew up with brothers. It's kind of what happens, I think.
Oh, that is awesome.
So there's my 5 minutes. I didn't talk about anything useful except that.
And we didn't even touch on Die Hard, which
No,
I'm a little
surprised.
bummed out about. So
I will say I am preparing another top 5 show with Fire Guy Ryan and Hialeah Comic Bro, and we're gonna we did 70s movies. Now we realize the 80s just has too much, so we're gonna do our first one's gonna be top 80s action movies. So it's possible some Die Hard Lethal Weapon love could show up in there.
I need to be part of that show for seriously.
Oh, ready.
Yes.
Be ready. Major League Explosion.
Be back.
Right, Arnold had a good 80s, I'll tell you. Yeah.
Guess number 2.
All right, guess number 2.
Which Indiana Jones film was it? Was it the first one?
Oh, it was
I think it was Last Crusade.
That's 2, and that's why it was so brilliant because I have 2 of them on VHS. So he was alternating the 2 variously throughout the house, and that's why I was like, third. Yes.
Okay, Javi, we're going around the circle. Your turn, my man. Ding ding. What was your show about, and what did you not get to show during your 30 minutes?
My show was about music. We talked about space and planets for a little bit, and then we talked about like vibrations, and then we dove off into this like whole metaphysical, like what is. But yeah, it was awesome. Showed off some CDs, that was cool. But I don't know if a lot of people know this about me. I played guitar for like now I want to say like 14, 15 years I've been playing. I went to college for music. I have a degree in music business, so that was really cool. I've been taking guitar lessons for a while. I stopped taking guitar lessons, but one of my biggest passions was to always like teach guitar lessons, and I did a little bit in the past, but it's still like one of the goals that I pursue for sure in the future. Maybe open up my own music school or something like that.
And what age would you like to teach? I mean, are we talking all ages or just little kids or like
So
old
my
people,
whole,
or-
I kind of want to do like a kind of like a specialized school. I don't know if that kind of makes sense, but it would be more geared towards students who want to pursue music in a college career and anything past that. So not so much your like School of Rock type thing where it's just like parents trying to find hobbies for kids, but something more geared towards like a academic standpoint where you could kind of start at a younger age and then build up, learn music theory, and then get geared for those classes that you start taking in college, because some of those classes are kind of difficult. You know, music theory, people or children or kids just want to start learning at a later age, but they don't have that foundation. So kind of geared towards like that. So any age really, but I do want to teach like teenagers. That would be kind of cool. Like
Sounds amazing.
A lot more chill.
teenagers, and then I would not be opposed to teaching adults, because I feel like at any age you could learn, you know, even if you want to learn at a later age, go for it.
Guitar?
You know, don't stop yourself.
I tried once. It did not turn out very well.
Well, that's the hardest step, buying an instrument, you know. It's kind of
in my family, I know that pretty much every one of the now grandparents plays the ukulele at this point. They all learned in retirement, and they all love it, and it's been great for their their hands, their dexterity, their arthritis, all these
and
kind
the
of
mind too. And they're connecting. It's a language, you know. Music is a language, and if you're hearing the notes, and especially if you're translating that onto paper, then you're expanding so much. Your brain is like just like
you should see like the synchronization of brain patterns when a brain is like just at regular, and then once they're listening to music, brain, it's so different. And I mean, the activity is just everywhere. It's wild.
It's stimulation, yeah, for sure. It's crazy.
How many instruments do you play?
I can play guitar. I can play some bass, a little bit of drums, some piano. I have an ocarina. Yeah. But I mean, once you know the language, it's not very difficult to pick up other instruments. It's just practice, you know, putting in that time.
So you're saying you could play the tuba?
It would. Not right now. No, I don't have the opportunity.
Javi, I'm sorry.
I could probably make really weird noises.
You know, like that cliche, the dun, dun, dun. I mean, that, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There is something. I don't know if I showed this off last show. Give me one second. Did I show this off last show?
No, you showed like the little instrument that your friend made.
Like, yeah.
So this is a tube, and it has ridges, and it's just a plastic tube. You know, like kids play with it in sorts. But something as simple as this is an instrument.
Oh.
And that's like a triad, so
he's even playing different notes. That's amazing.
It sounds like Richard Dreyfuss talking to the aliens.
Yeah, but
I thought Doctor Who was going to show up.
But in places like Africa, you'll see people tie strings to it looks like almost like a boomerang shaped piece of wood, and they'll swing that around. And because that piece of wood, the shape of it is making the air, it's like kind of slicing the air in this sort of way. It makes sound, and that sound, that's music.
Like when you
That's awesome.
Like when you swing a stick and it just goes. Yeah, like when you hear it go. Yeah.
Yeah,
What that does.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yay! I'm glad we got to see an instrument.
That is We're gonna expect more Javi, maybe later.
Maybe later.
All right, moving on to star number 3.
Mr. Sam,
Okay.
your turn.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
Okay.
your turn.
Oh,
Tell us what it's about.
well, we talked about, that Spider-Man love. We talked about how I got into Spider-Man and all that, and So, is there anything more you want to ask?
Well, I was going to say, was there anything that you didn't really get to touch on or really get to show when our show was going? Because I know you had a lot of books.
Yeah, but they're still packed away. I mean,
I think you had a pretty important Spider-Man day today.
I was going to say, tell us all about today, Sam.
That is cool. Go into that.
But I didn't get any Spider-Man books signed, though.
It doesn't
That's
matter.
the thing.
John went off the rails. Go ahead. Go
on
ahead.
Today, Sam.
Okay, well, we got, this Todd McFarlane.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay, see that there was one.
That's good. That's good. Got Marvel Zombies.
Oh, nice.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Who's the artist on that?
Yeah.
No, it's Robert Kirkman.
Oh,
okay.
Nice. Robert Kirkman's story.
Cool.
Yeah. Oh, and I showed this off earlier.
Yeah.
Oh man.
So, yeah. Gotta give Wolverine some love. Huh?
That's awesome.
The slash is
That's
really cool.
very
I
I
always
like the basement.
Yeah.
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 So how long were you there for, Sam?
I was going to say,
Oh my gosh.
In line for.
I was pretty much there from about 9:45 to about 2.
Wow.
And because they were just trying to get everybody in. They had like 1,000 people there, so they were trying to rush the last people in there and trying to get everybody's book signed. So.
Little crazy, little hectic.
A little, but it could have been a lot worse.
Were you able to like talk to them a little bit, or is just kind of like sign, move on to the next guy, sign?
I got to shake Todd McFarlane's hand.
Nice.
Got to have a couple words with Robert Kirkman.
Were they nice?
Oh yeah, they were totally nice.
Were they really?
That's
Because
cool.
I've heard
Yeah.
horror stories. Yeah.
I don't know. No, these guys were cool. So
Put on a friendly face for the fans, kind of a thing.
Well, no, I
Yeah.
heard that some of them were like really rude to the fans. So
oh no,
Oh, good. I'm glad.
Well, that's
They're-
really cool then.
we got good people. Come on.
Oh, that's good.
Cool.
How many people would you say were there, Sam?
I think he said 1,000.
What?
It's about 1,000 people.
Wow.
Wow.
How far back in that 1,000
Line
were
were you?
you?
I was about like close to 700.
Oh, Sam, that's miserable.
The look of pain on Matt's face.
Yeah, see that? And Bueller was way up front. I'm like, whatever.
I know Hack was messaging me and he's like,
didn't let you
I'm
line?
already done and Sam's still in line. I'm like, ouch. Ooh.
He was texting me too. So
Oh, that's so mean.
Was he texting you nanny boo boo?
oh no.
One of my
I
favorite
didn't get
Bueller photos from recently is when he was with Brian Michael Bendis, and it was like Bueller's like twice the size of Brian Michael Bendis.
it's like
He looks like he's hugging
Yes.
like his baby brother or something.
yes. Well, I got to meet Bendis at the con a while back, and he is kind of a short dude.
And Bueller isn't.
You're
He-
not. No.
He is giant.
Tall. How tall is he?
He's like 6'4", 6'5", something like that.
Really? I had no. I mean, I heard he was tall, but I didn't know he was that tall.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. So moving on
Yes.
to our other
Moving on.
female participants on the panel. Miss Caroline, how are you?
Hashtag Jean Grey.
Hashtag.
Thank you for cheering, Counselor.
Yes.
Oh, Caroline.
Every time I think of your name, all I can think of is how Cade says your name.
Caroline.
Caroline.
Hello, Caroline.
All right, Caroline. Give us your piece. What was your show about? What's the secret you keep hidden from the comic book community up until my show with you?
I wanted to go with the science. So I'm really interested in the observable phenomena around us and anything that we can touch, see, or feel. And learning the composition of large stuff and small stuff fascinates me. And they don't all necessarily behave by the same rules. And it is the stuff of science that has yielded such wonderful science fiction, I think. And some of the ideas that have been the forefront of comics have really come at the behest of scientific discoveries and leaps and bounds. I mean, things like the atom bomb and this discovery of DNA and traveling to the outer space and things like this. This is just all components of man sort of awkwardly poking about the cosmos with a stick, a very small stick, blindly, but it's really great. And so I really like learning what is that? How does that work? Well, but why? And so I'm a but why person.
Cool.
And I think that if there's anything that I could give to you guys of value is that be skeptic. Always look for yourself. Be careful about sources and never stop asking questions. Because if you're not skeptical and curious, then you're not informed. And there's that. Now I want to talk about aliens.
Aliens later. They're later.
Caroline, you will have 20 minutes to talk about aliens. Don't worry.
But yeah, I think that some of the comics that I read as a young kid definitely fueled my curiosity into the scientific world, and also some events that I saw occur in the world and in the news, because as a teenager I saw the advent of like the stem cell and what these things were, how we were able to utilize them, and the promise that would bring to a lot of people that were in pain. And if we can figure out little things like that, life's not fair and life sucks and it's really tough. And so if there's something that we could do, even in the slightest way, to ameliorate the pain and suffering of people that got, dealt a shitty genetic hand, then I think then it's more than worth exploring. And so it's part of my curiosity, but also part of like, really, I want to do something where I feel like I'm actually giving back. I don't know why my mind works the way it does, but I do know it makes me feel good to try and figure out small molecular puzzles. That's it. Yeah, I can't balance a banking, account thing, and there's a lot of things I can't do. But I can tell you about certain things in space on a very small level. It's just nerdy, but it's like never doubt who you are, never doubt what you do. Always try to be informed and treat others as you'd like to be treated. That's it. I'm out.
Exactly.
Golden rule.
Golden rule.
Right,
Yes.
Paige, very nice. Yes, good job, Caroline.
Very nice. That was nonsense.
I know. All
Let's
right.
just be cool, man. Let's just be cool, man.
Finally, last guess.
All right, Miss Y'all Matt. Hi.
I can't go after that. She
Yeah.
busted out the golden rule. What else am I supposed to say?
Talking about your show.
Say your mom.
What kind of
No, it's awesome. First of all,
My
thanks for
girl.
having me on, guys. I'm excited to hang out with
Thank
Thank you
you.
all for being here.
I know, like
oh my gosh,
5
you
people
guys
all at once.
are all
Yes.
so busy and also amazing, and we are so truly honored that you would be here on our little show. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
The honor is ours, and I know I speak for all of us.
I'm just sitting here in bed, so I'm not really doing much. I can just roll over and take a nap and wake back up. It's all good.
Oh my
So,
god.
so my show was Isle of Literature, because both you and Irina, we write books. So we got to talk about that. That was a lot of fun. I actually was kind of jealous though, because I also like to play music, and I didn't get to hang out and see Javi's show because I was out doing stuff. I wasn't able to get in on that one. But man, Javi and I need to get together and jam out sometime over YouTube. It would be really cool to try to make
That
Oh,
would
wow.
be fun.
That'd be insane, yeah.
So, but, I love literature. I love the fact that you are on a quest or a journey yourself to get your books published, and I'm so excited for you to do that. And the fact that I get to be a little part of it, and I have some original art pieces now from the book. I'm just pretty good at guessing all the answers that you guys ask. So.
Very yes. I did. Matt's winning streak was kind of phenomenal.
Holy cow! Talk about the grace of God. Okay, like it was like the clouds opened, and it was like 1, 2. Yeah.
I felt bad because one of the ones I won was when Sam was on, and I wasn't sure if Sam was like allowed, like to be in it or not, and so I just threw the answer down, and I'm like, if I stole it, Sam, I'm sorry, man.
That's okay. I have A-OK Sam a
Good.
lot. He's
Good.
good.
Yeah.
Don't you
I'm
worry.
good.
So, but no, I
Another poem for us.
Oh,
Matt.
you know what? I was going to ask the same thing, and that was not scripted. I totally was going to ask that.
I was
Wow.
gonna ask honestly. Yeah.
you know what? I don't have one out. I could get one though.
Okay, do because
Do it. You got 2.5 minutes.
Do aliens and science next, and then it's going to be like literature poofy poof time. So we are going to do aliens and science, which is going to be Javi and Caroline's
And
little
Kate,
like.
yeah.
So I'm going to move.
I'm just gonna
And
slump.
Kate's gonna like.
Kate's gonna move in, but Matt, find a poem.
Yes.
I
yeah,
will.
the pressure's on, Matt. All right. And I'm going to work briefly in the background and like talk to people like a teenager and let you guys listen to it.
Well, you're coming back. Right?
I'm just
Oh,
right
okay.
here.
I thought you were gonna like
I'm
straight
going to
up
be the
leave.
teenager
I
in
was
the back
like,
on my
You're like, what are you doing, Mom?
head. Down. It's going to be so awesome. Okay, here I go. Science time.
aliens. Well, hang on. Let Matt find his poem.
Oh, true. No.
Matt, find his
Poem 10
poem.
minutes later. No doubt. Now it's
Yeah,
fine.
no, it's gonna be a little while, so you
No.
feel free to start. Do your thing.
Okay. All right. You guys, how about it?
Let's discuss aliens, shall we?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, we
Guess
already
on
know.
Area 51.
I'm
will
already
shoot
an
you.
alien. We already know this. But okay, Javi, actually, you said that you had a theory about this, and
You
I
wanted
would
to
very
open
much
it.
like to know.
I don't know if we're gonna open up with that.
You left me hanging, and I need to know. We're opening with it. Spotlight.
Just go.
If I had a flashlight, I'd hold it over your head.
Oh man, what do you guys do? Do you believe in life?
Yes.
First of all, there's our universe, right? We have a galaxy called
It
we have
absolutely.
a galaxy, right?
Universe with infinite galaxies. There is no possible way that we are
There's
the
no
only
way
one.
we're it. No. Oh wait, I'm teenage.
Okay, but wait. Before we expand that far, okay, so we have our universe. Do you think, there's our reality? Okay, so there's one, that's one, right?
Yes.
So
Yes.
is there life in that universe? That's right. That's one of the big questions that mankind has asked themselves, right? What's out there? They study the stars for.
Define life. You talking about like us? Look and walk and talk like us, or
I don't. Who knows?
Any
No.
kind of life.
That's the discussion. What do you guys think? Do you think it would be more intelligent life or more like animal life or
I mean, the knowledge that we've had is what I'm not super familiar with it, but I know we study the stars, right? We've tried to find symbols within the stars and try to follow their patterns, and then we shot satellites into the atmosphere, into space, and we landed on the moon. So how far can we go? Like,
Well, I think that life, as defined on Earth, is anything that contains carbon and has DNA and can replicate.
Mhm.
So that's kind of what, but that doesn't mean that on a different planet somewhere else that life is not constituted of other molecules. Okay, because it's entirely possible. It's also been proposed that arsenic backbones are also very stable instead of like the sugar phosphate backbones in terms of nucleic acids. So
Wait, are we speaking English still?
Right?
the
Wait,
DNA
are we? Is this alien?
All right.
Kidding, Caroline. Keep flexing, girl. Keep flexing.
So here's the thing. We know that the universe is expanding at an accelerated rate. And we know that there's only a given amount of mass, but there's a lot of it. However, it's getting further and further apart. Who are we to say, like I think Rob was saying, but like how cocky and self-serving would it be of us to assume that this is the apex of existence?
So true, Caroline.
Because
I don't know, though. When I look at my wife, though, she's pretty apex.
yeah, right. Well, that's a very funny response. Like that's very ape-like in responding. I mean, like but that's human. What else? How else would you respond? You're human. I'm human. We're human, right? But we're also very fallible. And given that we are primates, we're extremely violent mammals, and so we can do things like go to the moon. And we can do things like realize like how the universe is constructed, and then we can go bomb each other. So here's the thing. Like, I definitely think there's life out there. I have no clue what form it would be in. And if it were sentient, it's probably going to be much more self-aware than we are. And like they probably, if they're smart, would know that there's no way they could interact with us because we are so violent by nature that we would try to kill anything that looked different.
Interesting.
And I believe that like even if it isn't intelligent life, there has to be some sort of microorganism out there. I mean,
You're absolutely correct. I agree with you.
Even if it's not an intelligent piece of life form or a giant reptile, I think at least a microorganism could exist on the planet.
well, because I mean,
Totally
it's like,
plausible.
it's like our evolution. How are we here if there was nothing feasibly capable of having us here? There's got to be conditions and
We are the stuff of stardust. We are stardust. Like that is where else would have have our matter would have become like we. This is it. When we decompose, our atoms will be redistributed throughout the universe. They will not go anywhere in terms of disappearing. They're just going to get redistributed. We are the stuff of stars.
It's energy.
Because of that, we're very connected, I feel, in a way. And you have to think about that maybe on a deeper level. But meditation is a cool thing. And if you think about how big the universe is and that we are the stuff of that, you can go to some places. I don't know.
Well, and they've discovered other planets that could be habitable as well. So,
yes, I mean, the universe is too big and it's too probable, given the statistical occurrence of Earth-like planets. Just saying.
Just saying.
So, what do you think about that, Javi?
Yeah, I know. Javi's the other one over here who wanted the space topic.
when they blow up.
I mean, yes, of course. I can't disagree. Definitely, there's a lot of people that are like, oh, I don't like math, or but one of the things that math taught me, and this is very nerdy, we're going down the rabbit hole here, is that I think that the universe is sort of an asymptote. It's like always trying to reach a point, but it's never going to reach that point, and
it approaches the infinite.
And
we don't know. Don't know.
You would at an eyes value, at face value, if you look at that graph, you would see a very, very, very tiny space. But if you zoom into that, it's literally infinite. It's like can be so much space in between that. So we talked about, yes, the whole one universe, is there life in one universe. You can even go on into expand and say there's alternate realities, multiple universes, things within things, and then things that just expand everything. That's a very cool thing to think about if you ever have the time to just dive into that.
Well, and we don't know. Yeah.
Right, we don't know. And we read all these comics, and all these comics, literally, that's what makes these comics, We have
and what we're seeing at
we
night
have the source wall
time.
in DC and all these sort of like crazy just concepts in comics, and why can't we take that into reality? What is,
Someone I felt that did that very well was Jack Kirby.
Yeah. So we learn about like the primordial soup. If there was just one single organism, and then that just kept multiplying, we learn about evolution, we learn about creationism. So Earth is made up. Somebody, back in the day, scientists came up with the periodic table of elements. They were like, okay, this is what Earth is made of. You can find these things inside of Earth. These are like the primal
materials. Like this is it, yeah.
Like this is it, So what if somebody outside already knew about these materials, and they saw Earth, right? And they were like, okay, this planet has a lot of these things. Let me start taking things from this planet. Where is all the gold in the world? Who knows? Where is all the silver in the world? Who knows? Iron, things like that. Everybody, I don't know if you question it, but where, people say, where's all the gold in the world? Blah, 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 blah. Who owns all the gold in the world? So let's say, because gold is very shiny, it's very like, ooh, pretty, let's say somebody out there was like, okay, this planet has these things, these resources that we can use. Let's start taking them, blah, blah, blah. And then they were like, oh man, this is like so much work, right? For us. Let's create somebody who can do this work for us.
I love it. Keep going.
Wow.
To an extent.
And then you get aliens. You get the pyramids in Egypt. You get there's people who believe the pyramids are transportation devices that back in the day you would see literally spaceships come hover over these structures, and then things would get transported up there. It's what if humans are a slave force? It's something to think about.
Scary.
Yeah, so it's you can, there's so many things that are out there, but it all really ties down to what Caroline said earlier, what Lady Fantastic said earlier, and that is that whatever you believe in there is a interconnection between everything. And that extends even from ourselves, and even from even out into Earth and out into the atmosphere. Like, yes, I do believe everything is sort of connected in some sort of way.
There's only a finite number of atoms that we've defined as per the periodic chart.
Yeah.
I mean, that's it. we're falsely creating isotopes now just by throwing neutrons and shit and seeing how stable it can be, but it's not real. So naturally occurring, I mean, that we know of, there's only so much stuff that the universe is comprised of. We have those same things in us. I mean, what is a star but a bunch of blebs of hydrogen and oxygen and nitrogen, all these, but yes, we are all connected in the sense that we are all made of the same things. We just happen to be, by a random, infinitesimally small probability, we're self-aware. And what Carl Sagan said, because we know that we are real and that we exist, means that the cosmos is self-aware, because we are necessarily part of the cosmos. We are made of the same stuff that the cosmos is made of. Thus, the cosmos knows itself. And I say that's true.
Oh, that's creepy.
Somebody mentioned.
Drop second mic.
Yeah.
Props, Mike.
I
She's
actually
done.
believe that. I actually believe that.
Somebody mentioned. I just want to shout out somebody in the chat. They were mentioning how there's a alien world that we don't even know about, like in the oceans, in the water. So that's also something to dive into, and a separate
Michael Bay,
I guess.
Get it? Dive into.
Dive into.
Yeah, but yeah, that's also very, very interesting and intriguing because life. Where did that's crazy.
So I'm gonna drop the bombshell here. Well, while we're still on the subject, have any of you actually ever had any alien experiences?
Have any of you been abducted? I need to know right now.
Matt, I'm really impressed with your wrestling skills.
You're looking a little suspicious up there.
Here's the thing, though. Have you seen, though, that like the Navy and certain military branches are releasing videos of things that are like, look, we don't know what the hell it is. It's going really fast, but we can't identify it. I mean,
all right, I admit it. I've been abducted, and these are my alien babies.
Yes.
I'm
curious. Do you guys have any? Anybody?
No.
Big time, no. Okay, all right. Well,
if you guys, I talked about. This is kind of tying everything together. The guitarist for Blink-182, Tom DeLonge, he created, once they broke up, he created Angels and Airwaves, okay? And he is a huge alien head, like UFO head. He he's a total believer of that. So if you guys are interested, check that out,
Cool. Right on. Okay.
I will say I've never been abducted, but I do love great science fiction on this topic. I mean, I remember seeing Close Encounters when I was a kid, and just the everything about it. Like, that movie is so wonderful, and the obsession of it, and the possibility of it, and that communication of it, and all the layers. And then, of course, as I don't know, probably a late high schooler, I saw Fire in the Sky. That movie is wild. If you've never seen it, D.B. Sweeney. It's a recreation of an event, an abduction, and these guys claim that it really happened to them, and they sort of recount what went on. Where there were 3 or 4 gentlemen in the woods. They were loggers. One of them vanished. The police could find no sign of this person. He was gone for days, and then emerged from the woods just lost.
Fire in the Sky, yeah.
Fire in the Sky. He wrote it. So
I've seen that movie. It's crazy.
The guys, the 3 loggers were originally suspected of murdering the guy that disappeared, and then he comes wandering out of the woods and swears that he was abducted, and they were trying to explain to the police what they had seen, but everybody thought they were just trying to cover up a murder. And then, of course, the guy comes wandering out of the woods, and he's unharmed except for malnutrition, and the recreation of that, the film is quite haunting and powerful. And I want to say it was
Who directed that?
I don't remember who wrote it and directed.
It was well done.
It was really well done. And D.B. Sweeney plays the guy that gets abducted. He's great. He's phenomenal. So I love that stuff.
Well, and I mean, who doesn't like sci-fi? I mean, come on.
Dude, I love watching like Carl Sagan Cosmos.
Science fiction, like
Mm.
documentaries and stuff
Yeah.
like that. You always watch those.
I like the really spooky ones, the humanoid figures that are monsters that hunt down regular humans now.
You see
They
video
hide in your
clips.
closet or they hide in your mattress and then they crawl out in the middle of the night or something.
Cade, you might really dig Fire in the Sky, man. It is super creepy. Like, you just don't know. Like, the way they portray the abduction.
It's creepy because you don't see a lot. That's the
Yeah.
thing.
Oh, man. And the way they hide what's going on, and it's all from perspective, like what they saw, what they witnessed. They try to recreate. And, yeah, it's powerful. Wild.
I'm the kind of person who is unobservant enough to where something could totally be going on around me and I'd have zero idea. I'd just be like blissfully
you
like,
are
la la la.
guilty of that.
Okay, you know what?
I'll be like, Rena.
Okay, so I'm a little zony, but that's not the point. But no, just thinking about
There's
life
a
beyond us is really weird because you hear all these stories about people who have encounters, and sometimes you get something that's similar, and then sometimes you get something that's completely different, and it's like, okay, is that just people's imaginations playing the same tricks on them because they've heard the same story before,
Or extreme amounts of alcohol.
or that?
It's all of the above.
There's a very good Twilight Zone episode, the Black and White series, where it's a very old country town. Not even a town. It's just literally like a desert, nothing in there, but just a cabin. It's like that one lonely cabin in the desert or whatever. And it's you would think it's a regular person's house. It's just one lady, and she's like doing her thing, like cleaning up after cooking, and then this little robot enters her home, and they're like kind of like freaking each other out. And then at the end of the episode, you find out that the little robot, because the lady looks like a regular human, the little robot was actually like a US spaceship or like a US ship, and they landed on an alien planet, and it was like a planet of giants, and it was just like a really big twist. Like,
That's cool.
you thought that the aliens were invading Earth, but it was actually the other way around, and it was just a very weird, trippy episode. It was awesome though.
Matt, what are you holding up down there? I see you flipping all these big giant boxes and books and things. What are you up to down there?
The wife just got back from Sam's, and she found this Marvel.
Wow, nice.
So it's Marvel, the characters and their universe. And
Speaking of universes,
Right?
right there, Sam, just for you. Boom.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So she brought that home for me, and then this one is DC Comics: A Visual History, and it goes by Golden Age, Silver Age, Bronze Age, Modern Age,
Nice.
and it tells you like how the characters came to be, and what the writers did to create them, and the artists, and so I'm gonna be reading a lot of cool stuff.
nice.
But it looks pretty neat. It's huge.
Okay, I think we're ready to shift gears. So let's tone it down from the giant existential question, and
Tone it down.
I'm going to be a little selfish here for a minute, and I want to talk about with all of you for about 15-20 minutes writing / creative mediums. So I want to go around. And because what I have in mind is because we all have, our own creative medium. We whether it's screenplays, poems, writing music.
I know.
Yes, you do.
I know.
I've seen you write a book. Quit
No.
Writing short stories or algorithms or whatever it is. We have all touched these creative outlets and these creative mediums, and it's impacted all of our lives in one way or another. So I would actually like to go around the circle again, and I would like each of you just to kind of give a blip on how your writing / creative medium has changed your guys' lives. So who wants to start?
John does.
You're on.
You're definitely not a teacher, Sharon. You gotta wait till somebody raises their hand and then you call on them.
Thank you for the volunteer, John.
Thank you for volunteering, John. Go right
I
ahead.
thought I was sitting in the back row, and then all of a sudden I was. I mean, yeah. As my last few edited videos show, I guess I'm more of a film guy, a edited video shooting kind of guy. I mean, I started, I think, with AV Club was my thing, and so screenplays probably were my writing format. But I didn't know that format when I was first doing it. I just sort of wrote down what I wanted the movie to do and what I wanted people to say, and I didn't really understand what that should look like. I just wrote it so that I could show my friends, hey, yeah, so you're supposed to stand over here and it's going to look like this. And so we were doing that in elementary school all the way through into college. So that was probably my chosen, visuals mixed with writing and acting and all that kind of stuff. I just really dug it. That's definitely my jam.
So and I mean, before you became a teacher, you had a lot of different opportunities to have your manuscripts looked at and all your different screenings looked at by actual producers, right? Yeah, I mean, it didn't amount to anything. I don't know if I just didn't have the right connections or the right stuff. I made a few short films all through college, and then I don't know. My big moment, I guess, one of them got to screen up at the Directors Guild of America up in Los Angeles. That was really, really special. And, a handful of us got to watch our films at this venue where they, run some of the greatest films ever made. And that was really cool.
That's
really
amazing.
Cool. Yeah.
That's awesome.
So are you glad that you put forth all the effort for all that?
Absolutely. And I'm still doing it. Obviously, that's now become part of my weekly YouTube channel. I just I get to make silly videos I never thought I'd be making them with my cell phone, but there you go.
You're amazing, cool knowledge.
Definitely.
It entertains
Yes.
us, and really, frankly, that's all that matters, John. Nothing else. It's all about us. Come on now.
Facts.
Okay,
Facts.
all right. Let's do this properly to make John happy. Who wants to go next? Raise hands.
Oh, now you have to call on someone.
You're gonna have okay. All right, go for it. Call on someone.
Ooh,
Name and a hat.
I pick on Sam.
Oh, okay.
Sam.
Hey, too quiet.
That's your fun sound.
Okay. So what do you want me to talk about here?
Done
Said
some
you
writing
like to
yourself
write.
too,
You
right?
want to write? Come on, cough it up. What have you been writing about? Admit it. Confess.
Wow. Whoa. Calm down there. Hang on. Okay. Well, I mean, I've done some writing in the past. I've wrote some poems. Wrote some stories when I was playing, role-playing games with friends. I've got ideas and things that I think about and I jot them down. But I just need to buckle down and get to writing more. So.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I had to do. I probably have 17 short stories that haven't gone anywhere because I just don't do anything with them. So it is really about the commitment.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I've always heard is don't stop writing. You keep writing every day.
Mm-hmm.
Something's gonna break out, and before you know it, I hear that you'll just be writing nonstop.
Even if you don't like it, just do it. Just keep writing it. It's almost
I
like
have
a
to
force.
say, you guys, Rena has been writing and writing and writing. If I had $1 for every notebook, half full notebook up in her bedroom, they are on shelves. They are in her bookcase. They are on the floor. They are on
my bed.
Dude, they are everywhere. So before she I mean, I am constantly finding
All of
outlines
these
and
old
characters
notebooks.
and all kinds of stuff. And she's like, Mom, I need to go and buy more notebooks. I'm like, oh my gosh, I totally bought you notebooks last week. She fills them up and then she never completes the idea. So that's why Isle of the Dark is so special, because she finished
It
it.
was the first one I finished.
But,
Yeah.
you know,
Yay.
got to just keep writing and writing and writing. I mean, how many notebooks would you say you have up there? 30, 40?
I don't know. I just
There's
know that
so
there's I know like I have 17 digital ones. I don't know how many I have laying around upstairs.
I want you to know, I was totally going to punk you tonight, because when Kate and I were cleaning out your face, we came across, what was it, 3 little kittens or 3 something kittens. And it was this story that she wrote in the 3rd grade, and her 3rd grade teacher put it in like this hardback book. And it is like this 3rd grade adorable little story about these 3 kittens. And I was like, I must share this on the channel. And Kate was like, no, Mom, that's evil. And I was like,
thank you for me.
but I
Oh.
it's still there. So one of these
I
days, I'm
okay.
just gonna post
There
a
was
picture of
there
it.
was like a writing class in my school, and this was I was like doing the transition to elementary and middle school. I knew I wanted to start writing, so I took this class as like my first step into the door, and
It was 3rd grade.
It was 3rd grade.
3rd grade. Amazing. Yes. So anyway,
Thanks.
future blackmail, you're welcome. I love you. Okay, moving on. I'm sorry.
Nice.
I'm just gonna sit here on the bench in the back.
Okay,
Uh,
who's next? Who are we calling on next? Oh, John pointed. Caroline.
Everyone's pointing to Caroline.
I'm like pointing at myself.
Oh, there we go. Caroline.
Hey, Caroline.
Hi, Caroline.
Hey.
Hey.
So, obviously there are more creative outlets than just writing. I, as a kid, I drew a lot. My grandmother was an artist. I still have lots of sketch things, and every once in a while I do it. Don't do it as much as I should. But really, one of my greatest mediums, I think, is just the English language. I love wordplay. I love just, oh my God, day to day, what absurd, ridiculous thing can I say that's kind of fun and sing-songy? That's what I live for. It's really what I live for. So I guess
jokes. Do you like my memes? My bad dad jokes? Does that mean you like them, Caroline?
oh, you kill me.
Yes. In your face, John. In your
John's
face,
giving her
in your
trouble.
face. Sorry, Caroline. Hey, come on. She's a
Be nice.
scientist, people. She knows.
You're the mom of dad jokes.
I love you, John. Anyway, moving on, Caroline.
She loves it. Yeah, that's probably and I think that I get a lot of pleasure and re-energizing from the creativity of others, i.e. music. Or if you go to an art gallery, looking at the creative works of others or appreciating the creative works of others, it really makes me feel good, and you see the expanses of what's in someone's mind, right? It's wild, dude.
Everybody has something different to bring to the table, which was kind of the point of the show, because so far, I know I've kind of ambushed you all with a little bit of writing, but overall, you all had something different, that you guys could talk about, and you guys could bring that a lot of people didn't necessarily know about you guys. So, which is really cool, and you never know until you get to appreciate it. So, peanut gallery comments. Caroline, keep going.
No, Caroline's pointing.
Oh.
She's pointing.
Okay, all right. Javi, Matt, rock, paper, scissors.
Yeah, but Matt has his poem ready. He's like ready. All right.
Scissors
Matt
anyway.
and Javi, rock, paper, scissors.
Rock, paper, scissors.
1, 2, 3, and.
Neither one of them are ready. All right, ready?
No, they're both ready. Okay. come
Whatever. You tell me what to do, and I'll do it.
Whatever, man.
Ready? And neither one of them are poised.
Rock,
Ready?
paper,
Scissors. Shoot.
I lost. That rock.
All right,
Since I
Javi.
lost, I'll go last. I guess you get to go. Then.
Yeah, right. What, like music or like writing in general?
Like your
Javi,
music,
you do
writing
you, man.
music. Yeah.
You wanna? Hey, play some guitar. No pressure.
Javi's like, oh no.
Do
Yeah,
it.
you share
Do it.
on my page.
Do it.
I had the amp set up too, so it might sound a little bit better
Ooh,
or
even
worse.
Hey, there you go. He came prepared.
nice.
What do you guys want to hear? Can you hear that?
Yep.
Request?
Sounds
Anybody?
good. No, let Poppy know.
We just hit the hour mark.
Zeppelin.
I just want to show off.
Then show off, man.
Show off, dude.
Like it.
So I really like I like if you listen to Santana has a very melodic, just like you don't have to really play fast, you know, or play a lot of notes. You just have to know what notes to play at the right time. And when you can hit those spots and you just see the people and they're just like, oh man.
Music is just as much about silence as it is about sound.
Yeah.
Creating the pauses.
It's its own language.
Yeah, but you know, even something like the blues. Let me see, like
Yeah,
Javi was
man.
just waiting for that the whole time. Javi was just
All right.
waiting for that.
but
That was awesome.
yeah, just writing, don't stop. Just don't stop. If you need to take a break, but keep those ideas brewing. You know, jot down those ideas whenever you have like a name or like a place or anything, you know, a concept, write it down, put it in your little bag of ideas and then come back to it. Go to concerts. I would suggest if you're not a big, like, if you like music and, you know, just go to as many concerts as you can. It's always a very, even if you have to go by yourself, it's a very good way to absorb like entertainment and like talent shit, you know. And I've seen like David Crosby like a couple times, and I've actually like had master classes with him where like people ask him questions, and one of the things he said is that even if you don't like something, just like try and keep it as an idea, or like maybe flourish it, and maybe somebody else will like it, or maybe you'll grow to like it yourself. And you know, that's my advice.
Very well said.
Yes. Inspiring.
It is.
You're awesome, Javi. All right.
And thank you for the music.
Very
Hopefully,
awesome.
hopefully the mic did it justice.
It did.
you
Yeah, it
didn't need a
actually
mic.
filtered out.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Mike for Justice, Javi. You're awesome.
Yeah.
All
right,
Matt,
Matt,
do you
here
have
we
that
go.
poem ready?
Yeah. So for me, there's all kinds of art and mediums, like you said earlier, that when they're done just right, I feel it in my heartstrings. You know, I am an instrument, and whoever does it right, they can play me. And so I definitely love, like this week, I just finished all the Harry Potter series again. Ooh. I just finished today. It was kind of funny because I was listening to them. We were out cleaning the garage, and it was like the very last battle when Harry and Voldemort are face to face. So I was walking up and down the sidewalk listening to the audiobook, and I'm bawling like a baby outside, and my neighbor's like talking to me, but I didn't notice because I'm listening with my head down, but he didn't know I had earphones on. So I finally look up, and he's like, and I'm all crying, tears all down my face, and he looks at me, he's like, "Whoa, what's wrong, man?" I took out a thing of like Harry Potter. He's like, "Oh," he was so weirded out with me though.
You should know better. Matt's a crier. He's a
Right?
crier. He's gonna let it
What
loose.
I do.
Just let it out.
That's right. But I'll tell you what, like there's so much fiction and art that I feel that way often about. So there's tons of music. Whenever my oldest son plays Furelise on the piano, which he taught himself how to play the entire song,
Dang.
and he can play it like a beast.
That's awesome.
I sit there and watch him play, and what happens? Tears come to my eyes. You know what I mean? Like for so many reasons, right?
Yeah.
I'll sit there and I'll read a comic book with my daughter, and it talks about a strong, powerful, feminine character, a woman that is kicking butt. And my daughters look at that and they're like, I can do that. And it brings tears to my eyes. You know what I'm saying? I watched Luke Skywalker fighting Vader at the end of a movie. And Vader's like, well, if you're not going to turn to the dark side, then I'm going to get your sister to do it. And the passion to protect his sister, what happened? I started crying like a baby. You know what I'm saying? There's so much goodness that I realize we have the opportunity as human beings on this planet, among this solar system, to make a difference in other human beings' lives. And Caroline said earlier that treat others the way you want to be treated. If we put goodness out there in the world, it's going to spread like a forest fire. And if we put badness out in the world and anger and complaining, that's going to spread just as well, So I prefer to pick up things that make me happy and that spread goodness. And I prefer to put that goodness out there. That's just kind of who I am, So in the things that I write and the things that I read, there are definitely hard things that I've written, stories that are depressing and hard. Like you heard about my sister, earlier, almost dying. And wait, was that on this show?
No, it was only, I think it was on.
Yeah.
No, but I think it was on Sam's show because I remember you talking about it.
Oh yeah.
So I think
That's
it
right.
was on when Sam and I were on your show. Yes,
That's right.
I believe so because we were talking about spoon feeding her. Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. So like I've seen hard things. I've been through hard things. There are hard things in this world, but I like to get through those hard things. We're resilient creatures. And the more that we make it through hard things, the more powerful we become. And the more power we have to help other people through the hard things they're going through, So anyways, this poem, it's called Haunt Me. My wife has epilepsy. Okay. And when she first developed having seizures, it came out of nowhere. She was pregnant with our fourth child, and she had a huge seizure while we were at church. And it rocked my world because I had, 3 little kids under the age of 2005, 3 kids under the age of 5. And then she was pregnant with the fourth, and she had a seizure and it was bad. And we thought we were going to lose her. She got healthier, seizures went away. And then at child 7, seizures came back with a vengeance, worse than ever. And there was a point one day when we were here at home, and she had such a bad seizure that we were all sitting around the bed, like thinking we were saying goodbye to her because she just wasn't coming to. Wow. And we didn't think the ambulance would be here in time. So I literally sat there, remember thinking like, okay, my wife, my everything is about to die here. And I'm going to be left with these 7 children that are terrified watching their mom. And thank God everything turned out okay. She came to, we got her help. She was in the hospital for a little bit. We've gotten medicines. We figured it out. But I remember in that moment thinking, am I going to rage in the world and hate everything because I'm losing my best friend? Or am I going to be the kind of hero that my kids need if she leaves? And the person that's going to save them because they're about to lose their mom. It was a big moment. And in that moment, even as it's happening and I'm sitting there thinking my wife's about to die, I thought, I'm going to be the hero. I have to be. No matter what happens, I have to be grateful for every second I've had with her. And then all of a sudden this idea for this poem started coming into my mind. And so this is the poem called "Haunt Me," and I'm gonna read it to you guys. Okay.
Dang it.
So, so the first time my breath caught somewhere deep in my chest, the lithograph, an Oriental man fishing, enchanted me. The trap you set wasn't deliberate, but I was snared nonetheless. The second time, it led us into solitude. While the crowds cheered inside, my breath was caught somewhere between a cry and a shout. The goosebumps spread like wildfire, though there wasn't a chill. When I framed for you a picture of the grand scale of things, you were betrayed by your veneer, and the tears flowed freely. You were never the same. The third time, those plush, soft lips pressing gently on his infant hand, my breath was caught somewhere in the past, wondering if they loved me like this. The fourth time, an infinite mirror clothed in purity, like the driven snow kneeling at the altar. My breath was caught somewhere in the future, determining to be there. The last time, 7 children around your bed, watching with you with prayers on their lips. My breath catches somewhere in my throat a sob. Our journey, full of lost teeth, a shoe size too small, to love and to wait, to learn and to serve. Marriages, grandchildren, getting old, shedding tears of joy and tears of sorrow. A broken window, a planted tree, little children, and in the end, just you, just me. Darling, will you remember the man you married? Haunt me and remind me who we are. And that's it.
Dang it, Matt.
Wow. But yeah, so I mean, when I write, or whenever I write stories or characters or heroes, a lot of time I put my own experiences and my own feelings in what I write. And I definitely have seen a lot of things and been through a lot of things that, like in that moment, I started seeing our life together. You know, I saw the first time my wife kissed my oldest son the day he was born. I remembered it vividly, and I'm like, I'm about to lose this, you know. But that's what art is. We have to express ourselves, and we have to share our story with the world, whether it's through our fingers and the chords on the beautiful guitar playing that Javi was just doing for us, or through talking on Saturday morning comics with your girls. I mean, whatever we're doing, we're sharing a part of our souls with the people around us. And that's why I love this community so much, because I feel like I know just a little bit more about you the more I hang out with all of you. And the more I know you, the more I love you. So
We love you too, Matt, very much.
And you simultaneously made all of us cry.
Yeah, I'm glad you can still talk, because literally none of us could. Yeah. Mm-hmm. That was amazing, man. Thank you so much.
Thank you, man. Yeah, that was awesome.
For
thank
glitching.
you guys.
Yeah, no, those aren't
Buddy.
tears. You have something in your eye, buddy. That's
Oh, yeah.
Well, thank you, Matt. That was beautiful. That was amazing. I mean, sad, but I mean, it was really
But
good.
it wasn't sad. It was more
Happy
it was
ending.
more beautiful
Happy
and
ending.
moving.
Introspective.
Yes.
What's up, Chris Barrett?
Rob, how does anybody follow up after that?
No one
Oh,
can,
my
Rob. No.
He went last, right?
I did enjoy the fact that, like, for a while there before Matt started reading, the chat just devolved into marijuana chat. So it was like,
Oh, wow.
you know, give Bake the Snake, give Bake the Snake and Rob Works the floor, and that's what you get, apparently.
There you go, Bake.
Bake the Snake and Rob Worst having, like, a breakdown of the science of marijuana in the chat.
Oh
So
my
there you go.
God. Oh my
Dude,
God.
they've cured epislepsy over here in the chat.
Thank you guys. Thank you.
Little did you know what your wife needed. Apparently, listen to Bake the Snake.
Right?
She's got her prescription filled.
All right, guys. Well, it is 9, almost 15.
Thank
So
you,
we're going
Gorbachev.
to do
The last
fire
seg-
fact. Fire. Oh, well,
No,
first.
we're gonna do the last.
Don't do me like this.
Like one?
segment.
Two?
Well-
There's one more segment.
Well, it's 9:15, so.
Okay, all right. I guess we're skipping the geek out, but I guess we've all kind of gotten to geek out with it, right?
I got time.
We're all geeked out.
Mac, I got time.
Yeah, I got time.
Rena
Okay.
has something
Yeah?
to tell everyone.
Yes. All right. So So everybody on the panel knows, but for everybody in the chat, okay, so finally, after a few months of waiting, I finally have the pre-sale page up for my book.
Woo!
It's up on a website, and it is the link down at the bottom, isleofthedark.com. It should just pop right up. No spaces, no capitals, no nothing. Just type it all in as one string, and it pops right up. Unfortunately, there still is not a release date yet. But
you can pre-order it.
But you can pre-order if you want to secure your physical copy of the book for all of the collectors out there.
I've pre-ordered about 8,075. But we will be giving three signed
Three
copies
away as prizes
Yes,
in the
that's right.
future. When we get them, yeah, we will be getting them. So, oh, there goes Kate.
I'm gonna grab my solo.
Do you sign
yeah,
that right now?
Okay,
Well-
so now that we have made the announcement, Cade has made some special fire
It's a
facts,
special
for the book,
Firefax.
and we're gonna let him do his fire facts at the end of the show.
Well, it's not quite the end.
Not
but
quite the
it's,
end,
You know,
but-
it's time for Kate's Firefax. So here we go.
All right, come on.
All right. All right.
Give me a second.
The cookies are out. Da, da, da.
I have the sword of truth. This sword is fire of the dark. All right.
Fire in the dark.
Fear the sword. All right. Fact number 1. Isle of the Dark was originally made for me. So very flattering.
Narcissist.
No, you.
Oh.
Number 2. Isle of the Dark was started over 2 years ago. So that's a long time to write these. And number 3, one more character that was named Midas. He was cut from the story, and you will never get to see him.
Too bad.
So, and number 3, you can go pre-order Isle of the Dark at isleofthedark.com. Plug. Okay,
Order today.
I put a link in the chat. You guys can just click the link in the chat.
Thank you. I appreciate the link. Because yeah, we were having troubles with it actually today. We were like testing it, like, is this gonna work?
I was trying it,
and it didn't work initially. So I was like, wait a minute, this was working 2 days ago. So we had a bit of a panic moment.
Yeah, but she figured it out. She's smart. All right, so that's our big announcement.
That's the big announcement. That I have these little cute cards that mark it out. So I'm going to be trying to mark it. This is happening, people. No release date, but I can make in the money.
No action figures yet, Area 51. No. But Matt does actually have some original art that came with that, right? Hey, Matt, wink, wink, wink.
Yeah, and Matt's got to point them out real fast.
I do.
Knew exactly where they were. So that's the villain.
Dude, that's the big bad guy. Whoa, whoop.
Yep. And then the mushroom.
That one was mine.
That's
The
right.
mushroom.
That's right. Because
shroom.
Matt wins lots.
That's right.
Very,
My
very.
cool hat. I got to work on it though because it doesn't look too good on me.
Let's go.
Oh.
Come on.
No.
Oh.
I
So
just bought my copy. I want mine signed.
Go on. Thank you.
Oh, that's awesome.
So, but that was our big announcement. I was waiting. I almost spilled the beans in the middle of the writing segment. I'm not gonna lie, but I held it at the end for the big announcement that the pre-sale page is up, which means that hopefully soon, I'm banking on a month and a half, that I should have the release date. So,
And it will be.
Congratulations.
You can purchase it on Amazon. It will be
Amazon.
downloadable on Kindle.
I don't
Blah,
know
blah,
about
blah.
the Kindle.
Yeah, well.
Barnes
It
and
will.
Noble,
Okay.
maybe.
Yeah, it'll
Maybe
be
Barnes
If
and Noble.
I can figure out the Barnes and Noble, it could be through the
We
Barnes
are
and Noble
working on the
chain.
Barnes and Noble. There's like what 7 steps?
Yeah,
7 steps that you
7
have
or
to
8,
do
yeah.
in order to get it on the shelf. So
Yeah.
we're working on that. Yes.
But I'm gonna literally try and get it out.
Going on.
All right, so we're going to recap, starting with the bedroom guy. Hey, bedroom guy.
I am pumped that I'm known as the bedroom guy. That's a win in my book. I'll tell you right now.
I thought you were talking about me.
He's a clearly delineated bed
That's
back there, pal.
Boy, I'm gonna let my
I'm
wife
in my
know that
bedroom
later.
too.
The internet's calling me this, honey. It's true now. What am I supposed to tell people now? Go to isleofthedark.com.
No, like just anything you want to wrap up. That's last commentary.
Let's plug the Thursday show and the amazing stop motion and Jay.
I got a YouTube channel. Whatever. I'm in the chat. You guys can find me. I got a fire fact for you, Cade. One of my favorite facts is that a day on Mercury is longer than a year on Mercury. It takes Mercury longer to turn than it does to go around the sun.
Wow.
Oh my goodness.
You know, Cade had gotten all these planet books for Cade.
Yeah, I used to binge read them over and over.
He was
and
like
over.
little. So you two need to connect so that you two can spout out planet facts together.
I'm down. Definitely down.
Well, you know what? You need. There you go.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
uh-huh.
yes.
And no plotting any kind of practical jokes with my son.
Oh my gosh.
No, because
Oh,
No, he's worse.
All right, we're going
no.
to Javi. Hey, Javi.
Hey, what's up? Yeah, check.
Closing
Last
commentary.
songs, any crazy instruments?
No, I can play a little bit of something, but yeah, check out, I guess, my channel, Conquistadors. I mean, if everyone's loving the music so much, man, I mean, maybe I'll start throwing in some music or something like that.
Yes.
Well, maybe instead of OBBC, it should be OBBM for boy music.
Yeah, we'll figure something out. Yeah.
Nice.
Thank you for having me. Go check out isleofdark.com and pre-order your copy of the book.
Thank
Amen.
You.
I already did.
All right, so Javi, you need to play. You need to play something. Anything?
No.
No problem.
Oh, Sam, get down.
Yes.
Oh,
A little bit of the white man's overbite.
Yeah, baby.
It's my signature move. What are you guys laughing
Hey, very nice.
oh.
That's
some
right. Make the snake OBMC, Oprah Boys Music Club.
yeah,
Yeah,
there you go.
very nice.
That's awesome.
All right. Sam.
All right, Sam.
Yes.
That's
Javi, you
hilarious,
just
bro.
play in the background.
Javi's just the closing
Just
music
do the
piece.
closing music.
Yeah, Javi, just keep playing, man.
So, you know, I got the Sam's Tangle web, going around, you can catch me on that BS show, the worst show ever, and
Damn,
so yeah.
He's got awesome. He's got like this Spider-Man Facebook page. He's got the Things page. He's got the, oh my gosh, how many Facebook pages do you have, Sam? Oh my gosh,
Like 5.
And I'm only
not that many.
I'm only admin for one, which I'm kind of offended about, Sam. I'm just saying.
I've only been invited to one, too.
Whoa, back it up.
I know. I didn't
mean to
realize.
offend.
I didn't realize you had more. I gotta jump on those.
You say we're just teasing. Anyway, okay.
Oh,
So
whew.
5 pages and
Right.
No, okay.
subscribe to Sam today.
Yes.
Immediately.
www.sam.com.
No, I don't know.
He's like,
Caroline.
Hey, I'm Lady
Yes, you know.
Fantastic. I like to talk about comics. They're mostly Marvel. I went on a tangent about White Queen and Phoenix today. You can go check it out. I just like to laugh. Spirit fingers to all, and to all a good night.
All right, but Caroline, here's what I really need to know. Number one, does Miss Kitty like Batman?
I mean,
Miss Kitty made her drop like 5
If
minutes ago.
Miss Kitty doesn't like Batman, then I'm never sending her flowers again. I'm just saying.
I don't really know. I've never asked Miss Kitty about her personal feelings towards Batman.
Well, you know what? You're going to need to find out if she likes Batman, because you know what? I'm not sending her catnip anymore.
You've cut off the supply.
Oh no.
Miss Kitty.
But Miss Kitty is a kitty.
I'll send you flowers all day long, Caroline, but Miss Kitty, she's out. She's out.
Sharon's the only one that doesn't flower. Sharon loves me.
They're allowed.
All right, last but not least,
Matt.
thanks for making me cry, Matt. I appreciate
Yeah,
it.
Matt just had the power to make
they-
My
they
everyone
would
go
eyes
do
dead
are
that.
silent.
super dry.
you should have seen the way my face fell after the 12 days of Christmas. Like I couldn't stop smiling. No, so John, we got to get comic gories going again, man. So we're gonna have to talk because I've been getting a bunch of messages.
Oh my gosh, my life has just not been the same.
I even cheat at work and I watch you guys. So like, come on, you guys
Yeah.
are my entertainment.
All right, we'll get it.
Wind
We'll
it
get it
up.
going again. We'll get it going again.
Come on,
That's right, baby.
gotta go.
Let's do
Gotta go
this
fishing.
next Friday. Let's make it happen next Friday.
All right, let's do it. I'm down.
Let's do
Uh,
it. Yes.
So comic gory is gonna be coming around. I've got Matilda Gothica's package here that's got to go to Israel.
Ooh.
So I changed it. I didn't use the UPS ones just in case it's some American thing. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I'm trying this new way out. I hope that gets to her. If it does, then we're gonna have our 12th day of the 12 days of Christmas sometime.
Oh, that's so
Yeah.
awesome. I see
So-
her art all the time on IG. She is such a
Yeah,
sweetheart. Oh my
she's a
gosh.
doll. She's a doll. I love her. So
Yeah, she's got a good soul.
yeah, she
And
does.
you know what? Any female that's in this group, I'm like,
Yeah. Yeah.
sorry.
So, but that's it. I mean, I appreciate you guys having me on. I loved hanging out with everybody tonight. It was a blast. And thank you.
We are sincerely honored. Thank you,
Yes.
John. Thank you, Javi. Thank you, Sam. Thank
Caroline,
you, Caroline.
Matt.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Matt.
Thank
We
you
love
all for
Thank
joining
you for
us.
your support
And-
and love. We appreciate you all so much.
Chat, if you have not subbed up these 5 lovely people yet, please do.
And everyone else in the chat who have supported
Sub
us
up of each
during
other.
this last hour and a half. We are so
Thank
grateful.
you. Yeah, we've had like a
So
constant of 25.
grateful.
So the 25 who have stuck with us the entire way through, thank you,
guys
so
are
much.
amazing, and I promise to send you more bad memes. Anyway, so we are going to end.
Because
Except
about the
for
rest.
John, because John doesn't appreciate my bad dad.
well, and then poor Javi. It's like Javi. It's like what, almost midnight for you, man.
It's 11:30. It's not bad. It's Saturday. It's Saturday.
It's Saturday.
Oh, it's Saturday night. All right. Well, you guys. Oh, Sam, you
Sam
got
got
that,
it.
didn't you?
I got that. I got that.
I get the disco. Okay.
Hey, real quick, I wanted to add something.
What's
If
that?
that's okay.
What?
Everybody go to isleofthedark.com.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, man. Oh, my. All right. We will see you all later.
The end. The end.